Hi, in this video we are going to create a Finder component. We'll design the left sidebar and the Finder content with a list of folders. We'll create a trash component as well. Even though it's pretty similar to the Finder, by doing this we keep it open for development. Let's get started. First, we'll use the Angular file extension to create a Finder component. Let's create a trash component as well. And as usual, we'll delete the test files. And the reason why I'm deleting the test files is that they don't make sense in this project, since this project was initially created without a test configuration. But the Angular file extension knows nothing about it and creates them anyway. Then I will go to the Finder component and set the change detection strategy to onPush. And I will do the same for the trash component. Then in the index file, we'll of course export everything from those folders. And we will import these components into the applications module. Then in the Windows service, we need to extend the find component by application ID method to support these new apps, Finder and Trash. And then if I click on the Finder icon, the dialog is opened and it says Finder works. And the same applies to the Trash component. We'll do a little cleanup here and we'll get rid of the ng on init as we're not using it in this component. And then we'll define the folders observable and it's going to be initialized with the value from the store. But first we need to inject the store into the constructor. Then in the store TS, we are going to copy the desktop folders observable and then rename it to the tutorial folders. And we need to use a different parent folder ID in this one. We are going to use the ID of the tutorials folder. This could be implemented in a nicer way if we had constants for those IDs. But for this demo, setting the hard-coded IDs will do. So then in the Finder component template, we'll start with a div with a class of Finder. And then inside of it, we'll have a Finder sidebar and a Finder content. The Finder content will have the folders component that we created in one of the previous videos. So this one will just accept the folders observable within a sync pipe. And we're going to pass an empty array in case there is no value. And we want to define the isFinderOpened input and we want to set it to true. Now if I open a Finder component, there is one folder in here. There's an assets folder and the selection works exactly as expected. Now let me create this Finder sidebar component. The first thing we always do is to set the change detection strategy to onPush, as it's really important and I highly suggest you learn about the change detection strategy in case you're not familiar with it. We are going to need the sidebar group model and it's going to be an interface with a field category and the items of type sidebar item. This type doesn't exist yet, so we'll go and create it as well. It will have the following fields: a label, an image, and the icon. Then we go back to the sidebar group and import this new type here. We'll then import the sidebar group type, and then we'll define a sidebar groups array. And I'm just going to paste in the values for this array. The first category is the favorites. The second category is iCloud. And in the end, the last category is tags. Then I'm going to go to the template and I'm going to start with a div with a class Finder Sidebar. And inside of it, we'll have a div with a class of controls. And we're going to use the Dialog controls component. But first we need to import the Finder Sidebar component into the Applications module. And then we can use the Dialog controls here inside of the template. Then we will prepare everything to render the sidebar groups inside of the Finder sidebar. And we're going to need two additional components: sidebar group and sidebar item. But we are going to continue in the next video. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.